The casino buzzed with energy as the evening wore on. Bright lights flickered overhead, highlighting the vibrant colors of the walls and the stylishly dressed patrons. The air was thick with the mingling aromas of popcorn and high-end perfume, while laughter and chatter created a lively symphony. Clinking chips echoed like music, punctuating the excitement that filled the room. At one corner table, players leaned in close, eyes darting across their hands and the dealer's face. Each shuffle of cards sent a ripple of anticipation through the crowd. Some stood close, their breaths held, while others laughed nervously, unable to tear their gaze away from the action unfolding before them. The thrill could be felt in every heartbeat as hopes and dreams danced on the edge of risk. In this electrifying environment, our gambler sat poised, surveying the table with a focused gaze. He was no stranger to this world. His heart raced with adrenaline mixed with confidence as he prepared for one final showdown. The whispers of his last ace lingered in his mind as he envisioned the challenge ahead. Would he find fortune at this table, or would fate have another plan? Amidst the vibrant chaos of the casino, one figure stood out, Jack Ace Thompson, a seasoned gambler with a reputation as bold as the neon lights surrounding him. Known for his daring moves and effortless charm, Jack had earned the respect and envy of many. With a twinkle in his eye and a confident smile, he was no stranger to high-stakes games, having turned many near losses into thrilling victories. As he adjusted his cufflinks and smoothed down his tailored jacket, Jack felt the familiar rush of adrenaline course through him. He had faced countless opponents and weathered the storms of luck, but tonight was different. This was not just another game. It was his last big chance to secure his legacy. The whispers of his past victories and lost bets echoed in his mind as he took a deep breath, focusing on the cards that awaited him. Every player at the table knew who he was, and that only added to the pressure. As Jack settled into his seat, he glanced around at the eager faces watching him. They were waiting for a show, and he planned to deliver, if only fate would deal him the right hand. As the game began, the stakes became clear. This was about far more than just money. Jack glanced at the stack of chips in front of him and felt a heavy weight on his shoulders. Tonight, every chip represented not only his own pride but also his family's future. Years of hard work, sacrifices, and his children's dreams rested on his performance at that table. In the back of his mind, he recalled the struggles his family had faced during tougher times. Each loss had added to the pressure he felt now. Winning this game could mean financial stability and a brighter path for his loved ones. The thought of letting them down gnawed at him, intensifying the tension that hung in the air. Around him, the crowd's energy ebbed and flowed like a tide of hope and anxiety. Some spectators whispered prayers for luck while others placed bets on Jack, unsure if he would triumph or fall short. As he shuffled his cards, Jack realized this was more than a gamble. It was an opportunity to rewrite the story of his life and ensure that his family's future remained secure. He took a steadying breath, knowing that everything depended on these next few moments. As the game heated up, the crowd began to swell. Spectators pressed closer, each person drawn in by the thrill of competition unfolding before them. Some had hopeful smiles and eager eyes, running their fingers through their hair or bouncing lightly on their toes, as if they could will good fortune into existence. Others stood rigid, anxiety etched across their faces, hands clenching or fidgeting nervously as they whispered soft encouragements to Jack. A group of friends behind one table leaned on each other, their laughter attempting to mask their tension. They exchanged bets on who would win, calling Jack a champion. Nearby, an older couple shared glances filled with nostalgia, remembering their own days at the tables. The excitement in the room pulsed like a heartbeat, amplifying every small movement and sound. As Jack shuffled his cards, he could feel their anticipation. Some spectators even folded their hands to pray, their murmurs weaving through the crowd like a prayer for luck. All eyes were glued to him, and he sensed the weight of their hopes resting on his shoulders. This game was not just his alone. It was a shared moment that bound everyone together in a tapestry of dreams and fears. With the crowd's energy crackling around him, Jack focused intently on the game ahead. He knew his opponents were skilled, each one a formidable player with their own tricks and strategies. As he glanced at their expressions, some confident, others calculating. He began to devise his plan. Jack recalled the subtle tells he had learned over the years. A slight twitch of an eyebrow or a tightening of lips could signal fear or confidence. He needed to exploit these tells while also maintaining his own poker face. Jack planned to play conservatively at first, allowing his opponents to reveal their strengths and weaknesses. The longer he could keep them guessing about his own hand, the more advantage he would gain. He thought about how to use his charm to distract them, weaving light banter into the game while keeping his focus sharp. In his mind, Jack ran through the scenarios, calculating odds and probabilities. He reminded himself that patience was key. The right moment would come when he could make a bold move. With each shuffle of his cards, he felt a surge of determination. This was not just a game of luck but one of strategy, and he was ready to seize the chance to outsmart his rivals. As the dealer's voice cut through the excited chatter, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. The moment the first cards were dealt, a heavy tension settled over the table like a thick fog. Jack could feel it press against his chest, making each heartbeat resonate in his ears. This wasn't just a game. It was a reminder of every moment he had spent at the tables, each victory and every loss swirling in his thoughts. With each flick of a card, memories washed over him. Sweaty hands grasping chips, joyful cheers echoing around him, and quiet nights reflecting on what had been gained and lost. Jack thought of his father, who had taught him how to play with skill and grace. He remembered watching him at the card tables, exuding calm confidence while his opponents sweat under pressure. Jack yearned to channel that same strength. As he played, he felt connected to those moments from his past, the joy of success mixed with the fear of failure. He gripped his cards tightly, aware that every decision now had weight beyond the game itself. The tension in the room heightened as time stretched on, transforming into an electrifying dance of courage and risk where fate would soon show its hand. As the dealer called for the first round, Jack felt a rush of adrenaline. The cards flew across the table, each flip revealing new possibilities. Jack played his hand carefully, reading his opponents with every glance and gesture. His heart raced, but he forced himself to remain calm, showing only the confidence he had practiced over the years. With the initial bets placed, the energy in the room crackled. Jack raised an eyebrow as one opponent boldly pushed all in, confident in their hand. Intrigued, Jack decided to match the bet, sensing a vulnerability hidden beneath the bravado. As more cards hit the table, moments of suspense unfolded. Gasps from the crowd punctuated the silence, accompanied by whispered reactions. As luck turned in his favor, Jack managed to secure a small but significant win in the first round. Cheers erupted from some spectators while others murmured in disbelief. This early success ignited the fire within him. He could feel momentum shifting in his favor. However, he knew that in this world, confidence and caution must walk hand in hand. Anything could change in an instant. With each round, Jack felt ready to embrace whatever twists awaited him on this thrilling journey. As the second round progressed, the tension grew thicker, and Jack felt a subtle shift in the atmosphere. The dealer's hands moved swiftly, revealing the next cards, and Jack's heart raced when he glanced at his own hand. It was solid, but as the community cards were laid out, one unexpected card appeared. An ace that could change everything. Jack's mind raced with possibilities. This card could mean victory or disaster, and he knew that making the right move was crucial. He saw his opponents' faces tense at the sight of the ace, with some exchanging quick glances that hinted at their sudden unease. Jack sensed an opening. Some players might assume he now had a powerful hand. With a deep breath, Jack weighed his options. He could either play conservatively to protect his earlier gains or take a risk and raise the stakes dramatically. The crowd's energy shifted. Whispers filled the air as spectators leaned closer, intrigued by his decision. Knowing this moment could define not just the game but his legacy, he decided to go all in, his heart pounding as he pushed his chips forward. All eyes were on him as anticipation hung like a tightrope over the unfolding drama. As Jack pushed all his chips into the center of the table, the atmosphere in the casino shifted dramatically. The crowd, once filled with lively chatter and laughter, fell silent as if the very air had thickened. Eyes widened and breaths held. Spectators leaned closer, sensing the gravity of the moment. Hope radiated from some, while others wore masks of anxiety, unsure of how the gamble would unfold. Gasps rippled through the audience as Jack's opponents reacted to his bold move. A few exchanged nervous glances, their confidence wavering with the uncertainty of their own hands. The tension seemed to pulse with each heartbeat as everyone anticipated the next move. The stakes were higher than ever. Whispers of encouragement filled the corners of the room, while some onlookers clasped their hands together, silently praying for Jack's success. With every passing second, anticipation mounted, creating a charged environment that felt almost electric. It was as if time stood still, and in that poignant silence, Jack could feel the crowd's collective emotions wash over him, an intoxicating blend of hope and fear that mirrored his own internal struggle. Every eye fixed on him, he knew that whatever happened next would resonate far beyond this table. In the midst of the charged silence, a few spectators unexpectedly folded their hands in prayer, their faces reflecting a mix of hope and desperation. Their soft murmurs floated through the air, intertwining with the tense atmosphere, adding an emotional weight to the moment. The sight of these earnest prayers surprised some onlookers, but it resonated deeply with many who understood what was at stake for Jack. As they closed their eyes, it seemed as though time slowed down even further. Each second stretched into eternity. The chance for luck became a collective heartbeat, syncing with Jack's own racing pulse. These spectators were not just rooting for a game. They were investing their own wishes and dreams into his success, amplifying the stakes beyond mere money. Jack glanced briefly at their hopeful faces, feeling an unexpected surge of determination. Their faith in him reignited his own belief that he could turn this pivotal hand into something extraordinary. With their prayers echoing in his heart, he embraced the moment fully, ready to face whatever fate had in store. In this high-pressure environment, each decision held the potential to rewrite his story and ensure a brighter future for those who believed in him. As the moment approached for Jack to reveal his final bet, he felt a wave of determination mixed with fear surge through him. He stared down at his cards, weighing the gravity of his choice. His instincts urged him to take the risk, to lean into the uncertainty that had defined his career as a gambler. But this time, it was more than just a game. It was about securing a future for his family and honoring the faith placed in him by those who prayed for his success. Jack glanced around at the eager faces in the crowd, their eyes filled with hope and anxiety. The weight of their expectations pressed upon him like a heavy cloak. In that split second, memories flooded back. His father's voice urging him to trust his gut, to be brave when the stakes were highest. With a deep breath, Jack made up his mind. He decided to raise the bet significantly, pushing all his remaining chips forward, the boldest move he could make. Gasps erupted from the audience as shockwaves rippled through them. Jack's heart raced as he locked eyes with his opponents, ready to face whatever came next, knowing that this gamble could lead to either triumph or heartbreak in an instant. As the final hand concluded, the atmosphere in the casino shifted once more, a mix of cheers and gasps echoing around the room. Jack sat back in his chair, heart still racing as he processed the outcome. Whether he had won or lost didn't matter as much as the journey that had led him to this moment. He felt a sense of clarity wash over him. This game was about more than just chips and money. It was about courage, risk, and resilience. With each breath, he reflected on what he had learned throughout the night. Every decision made with care, every instinct followed, had shaped not only the course of the game but also his understanding of himself. Jack realized that the weight of expectations from the crowd and his family had transformed into a powerful motivator, pushing him to embrace uncertainty. As spectators celebrated or consoled one another around him, Jack understood that life, like poker, demanded both bravery and vulnerability. He smiled faintly, feeling grateful for the experience. No matter the outcome, he knew that his true victory lay in facing his fears head-on and remaining true to himself, a lesson he would carry forward beyond this table into all aspects of his life. As the night drew to a close, the atmosphere in the casino transformed into a blend of celebration and contemplation. The crowd surged with excitement as some cheered for Jack's impressive gamble, while others sighed in disappointment at the outcome. Each spectator carried away their own story, woven from threads of hope, risk, and community. Friends embraced and celebrated victories, while others consoled those who had faced loss, reminding everyone of the unpredictable nature of life and chance. Jack looked around at the faces illuminated by the casino's bright lights, understanding that no matter the final result, everyone had invested a piece of themselves in this experience. It wasn't merely about the cards. It was about shared moments, laughter, tension, and the deep connections formed within that charged atmosphere. In this space where dreams collided with reality, Jack found joy not just in his performance, but also in witnessing the resilience and unity of those around him. He realized that every journey, whether triumphant or challenging, adds richness to life's tapestry. With a smile on his face and a sense of peace in his heart, he stepped away from the table, ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing he had truly lived that night.